Every now and again, I enjoy a change of pace in my games, and with the Christmas sale on, it was the ideal time to buy a strategy game. It's been a few years since the days of Dungeon Keeper 2 and Dawn of War. So, let's get into my thoughts on Xcom 2. Xcom 2 is a turn-based strategy game with a base management system when outside of combat. The base management is primarily used as a hub and the means to upgrade your soldiers, equipment, weaponry, and discover the weaknesses of the alien threat. You'll have to balance gaining resources, recruitment, and building your base with the countdown to Advent's plan succeeding, which can only be stopped by successfully completing certain missions. Each mission starts with your squad of 4, later on 5 and 6, landing near the objective with a concealed status, and on most missions a limited number of turns till failure. Simple enough, right? Well, we'll get into that, but first I need to be transparent. I hate RNG in my games. I have terrible luck, and for me it takes away that feeling of victory. I also hate time limits. I can work around them, but instead of being able to plan and strategize, you're struck blindly micromanaging distance per move as you wander deep in enemy territory, just trying to get to the objective, and for me that's quite frustrating. I came into XCOM 2 not realizing just how heavily reliant it was on RNG, so my view on XCOM is skewed far more to the negative, so keep that in mind during this review. At the start of most levels, you're given a concealed advantage because this is supposed to be guerrilla warfare. The idea is you can choose to engage the enemy when you want to, which means theoretically you could sneak in and out of the objective to minimize casualties. However, pairing this mechanic with a turn counter, and you're not given enough time to truly use this advantage to its full potential, as time becomes more important than casualties. It's also frustrating that if one soldier is spotted, all of your soldiers will be spotted, which has two problems. First of all, it destroys immersion, as the enemy could never know your precise location. If you have one soldier who's completely separate from the group, they'll be spotted because of reasons. Secondly, and this is the biggest issue for me, the AI won't maneuver to counter concealed soldiers. So by taking away this status, it robs the player of their ability to flank and counter the enemy with an advantage that they should have realistically. Simply put, the concealment mechanic is only useful for maximizing your damage potential on the first group of aliens you find, since you get the first move advantage. You have multiple classes that specialize in different areas. A ranger that specializes in heavy damage in close quarters or stealth. A grenadier that specializes in destruction and suppression. Kind of like the Chinese in that way. A sniper who shoots things, and a drone operator who is a glorified hacker or field medic. This is supposed to give versatility in the field. You get these specialized troops whenever your recruit gets enough XP or you buy one. The problem is in the early game, RNG decides which class you get, which can create unbalanced squads, especially if you have fatalities or injuries frequently. Each rank your soldier gets lets you choose one of two skills that fall into the categories I listed above, so you're given the ability to adapt your troops to your playstyle, but during my playthrough I always felt the game design was railroading me into a specific playstyle. Back to the little turn counter problem. Despite having a drone operator, you have no ability to scout ahead using the drone, which means you're stuck wasting precious turns if you try to remain in stealth, or you get surrounded by 3 squads because you couldn't see the bottleneck till it's too late, or the AI is being bullshit. Sometimes both. Before I go and shit all over the AI, I figured I'd better say something about the game that I actually like, because this review is turning into a reverse shit sandwich. Look, I really like the enemy design in XCOM 2. You're fighting multiple types of aliens and robots, some are tougher, some have better maneuverability, there's things like the toolmen that disguise themselves that make you change tactics, and also the robots and tyrants, they make you control them and make you change the battlefield tactics since they have so much destructive capability. I really love how this changes the gameplay in each mission. Combining with Advent's countermeasures, such as giving their troops better armor or deploying more of a certain troop if you didn't complete a side mission, kept each encounter fresh and interesting, which is hard to do. It certainly has some balancing issues, but I really liked that. I also really like the foundational turn-based elements in XCOM 2. The cover, reload, and Overwatch mechanics create an extra layer of strategy in your combat decisions, but these great elements are smothered by its other mechanics. I did some testing with both the AI and difficulty, so I had one mission of unlimited turns where I decided to fuck with the AI. What I discovered was that no matter my choices or how long I stayed in stealth, after a certain amount of turns or proximity to the objective, the AI will surround and close in on you, forcing you into a firefight. Because the AI doesn't have any kind of standard pathing like a military would have, it's built to react to the player and cause difficulty. It was at this point that I gave up on the concealment mechanic. I think the mechanic was put in to change the formula and look good for the reviews, but ultimately it was never thought or properly implemented. So difficulty, in my experience, is not based on things like level design, enemy health, enemy types of grouping, turn counts, the things that make sense. Difficulty directly affects hit rate. When I was playing on Veteran, I just about 3 out of 5 of my shots would land, and occasionally I'd get a bad streak of misses. When I was shot at behind half cover, about half of their shots would hit. If I was stuck in the open, about 3/4 of their shots would hit. Then I tried to recruit difficulty, and even shots I was certain would miss hit half the time. The majority of my reasonable shots landed, and the enemy had the accuracy of stormtroopers in the Star Wars movie, and I resisted nearly all psychic attacks. For me, this is the straw that broke the camel's back. For me, victory and defeat should be the result of your decision or skill, and the fact is, my success in battle is not only tied to RNG, but doubly so to my difficulty level. Out of combat, you're still not safe from the wrath of RNGesus, as your little home base / spaceship needs engineers and scientists to clear out and keep the ship running. And if you can't get enough engineers, you can fail an entire run through because either you didn't unlock a room that was story necessary, or you didn't increase the size of your squad, or you can't heal your squad fast enough for the missions, and you get the snowball effect if one thing goes wrong, and the longer it goes for, the worse it gets. My friends I've spoken to about the game have said some of the DLCs helps with this problem, others have gone to the files and dictated the chance numbers to get the gameplay better, but for me, this is a major issue. Look, the game looks good, but it still has a bunch of the little graphical issues from launch, such as clipping and windows breaking multiple times, but it's not enough to make the game unplayable, and the story is just kind of shit. The only real way to explain how little affects the experience is to give spoilers. So, basically, every mission doesn't feel important because you don't actually know what you're stopping. It's just collect the doohickey for information and gather resources, neither of which feels like you should be sacrificing 4 people to get. I can't really recommend this game to a casual market. This is a game that's for Xcom fans, and those familiar enough with modding to be able to turn this game into something that suits them. It has a solid foundation, and I hope Xcom Chimera fixes the massive reliance on RNG. As a slight side note, save scumming is a part of the experience in XCOM 2, so don't feel shame over that. It's gonna happen. This game is such a clusterfuck, it's necessary.